in solid color on this map is an important sector of the great Southwest, taking in the Texas Panhandle, jutting up from the center of the state, a part of the Oklahoma Panhandle, a part of southern Kansas, and a large section of southeastern New Mexico. Today, through the varied uses of electrical power, this region has a design for living and working that matches the pattern of life and work anywhere in these United States. In agriculture, in industry, in education, and in the normal flow of everyday existence. This vast area is today famous for its wheat, cattle, oil, and its productive natural gas fields. High on the list of forces that helped to develop this territory is the Southwestern Public Service Company. Here are the company's present offices in leased quarters in the city of Amarillo, Texas, directing the widespread operations of the entire area served. This is the modern 8-story office building bought in 1947 by Southwestern to become the general headquarters of the company after an extensive improvement program for the building. The territories served by Southwestern comprise an area as large as the combined areas of Pennsylvania and Rhode Island, 45,000 square miles, with a network of transmission lines forming a single interconnected system from the southern boundary of Kansas to the Pecos Valley in New Mexico. The primary portion of this system serves an area extending about 300 miles south from the Kansas border through the Oklahoma Panhandle and the South Plains region of Texas, and extending about 120 miles east and west. A 115,000-volt high-tension transmission line connects this area with the company's electric power in the Pecos Valley in New Mexico. Electric energy for this integrated system is generated in 10 power plants, burning natural gas purchased under fixed-rate contracts. There being no large rivers adjacent to the area, Southwestern is not confronted with the possibility of publicly owned hydroelectric power developments. We present now, by animated chart, figures tracing the growth and development of the company for the last 6 years. First, peak load growth. Peak loads have increased at an average rate of 24% per year. Now the company's progress in customer growth. Electric customers have increased from 61,269 in 1943 to 107,680 in 1948. This chart shows the company's electric revenues. Electric revenues have increased at an average rate of 20% per year. Earnings. Here we have the company's net earnings per share of common stock. Net earnings per share of common stock have increased from 88 cents per share in 1943 to $2.63 per share in 1948. And common stock dividends have been increased in the same period from 22 cents per share to $1.67 per share. Both earnings figures and dividends are based on common shares outstanding as of August 31st, 1948. But figures alone cannot tell the full story. Figures are only symbols of a greater reality that exists outside of balance sheets, charts, and accounting books. We take you, therefore, to the locales out of which our statistical report derives meaning and reality. The company's empire of service, presenting a cross-section picture of Southwestern's plant and equipment, the wide expanse of area served by the Southwestern Public Service Company. The extreme northern end of the territory served by the company consists of a part of Morton County in Kansas and the 3 counties forming the Oklahoma Panhandle. Guymon is the largest city in this area, known as the wheat capital of Oklahoma and the sweet gas capital of the world. In Guymon and adjacent districts are located many industrial plants. This is a carbon black plant. And this is the city's service gasoline plant. Here is the city's service compressor station outside of Guymon. This is Southwestern's power plant at Guymon. Not far from the city limits is the Hugoton-Guymon gas field. This is one of the company's gas wells with a daily potential of 33 million cubic feet of natural gas. Flying south from Guyman in Southwestern's private plane, we cover the upper section of the Texas Panhandle. Its wide, level plains on which are grown enormous crops of wheat, making it, along with the wheat country we have already seen, one of the richest wheat-producing areas in the world. The raising of livestock forms an integral part of this district's economy. The greatest industrial concentration of the company's service area is in the central part of this section, taking in the towns of Borger, Pampa, and Dumas, with Borger the center of activity. In the Borger-Pampa territory are located several large carbon black plants. Carbon black makes possible better rubber, paint, ink, phonograph records, and scores of other products. About 80% of the carbon black produced today goes into rubber, notably tires. Modern industry, aided by electric power, has turned what was once a waste product into a source of income for many firms and jobs for thousands of people. The Southwest is the carbon black center of the world, and the Southwestern Public Service Company serves more than half of all the carbon black plants in the United States. Here's the Phillips Refinery, one of the largest refineries in the country. Phillips is Southwestern's largest single customer. Northwest of Borger is a synthetic rubber plant. In this district are several other large refineries. This is Southwestern's Riverview Power Plant with a capacity of 69,000 kW. Flying southward, we come to the central Panhandle, with Amarillo the principal city. With a population of almost 90,000, Amarillo is the business headquarters of many oil companies and distributing companies. Here is Polk Street, Amarillo's main street, on a typical afternoon. And here is the same street at night, known as the best lighted main street in America. The city is an important railroad center for the area. The Amarillo Airport, known as English Field, is an important part of the general transportation and distribution facilities offered to the general public, travelers and shippers alike. More and more manufacturing firms are establishing plants in and around Amarillo, most of them in the field of light industry. This is a helium plant, practically all of the nation's helium being produced in this territory. This is a zinc smelter just outside the city. The Texas Company refinery in the Amarillo area. The Texas Company is one of Southwestern's largest customers. Wheat remains a predominant crop in the north. Cotton is the predominant crop in the south. However, in the area south of Amarillo, increasing acreage is being devoted to a great variety of agricultural products, such as potatoes, several varieties of melons, tomatoes, strawberries, and sugar beets. Various sectors of this territory make extensive use of irrigation, as we see here. In 1943, there were 2,950 irrigation wells being pumped in the Texas Panhandle, irrigating 400,000 acres. At the end of 1946, there were 6,500 irrigation wells irrigating 770,000 acres. Today, there are more than 1 million acres under irrigation. The character of agriculture in this region is being changed by the rise of irrigation to the betterment of agriculture in general and to the profit of those engaged in it. As a public service, Southwestern, in cooperation with the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical College, has set up an irrigation consulting office for the use of county agricultural agents and individual farmers throughout the Texas territory. Such service also being available in New Mexico. Many of the irrigation wells, which pump water from depths varying from a few feet to 300 and 400 feet, are driven by electric motors, served directly from Southwestern public service lines and from the Rural Electrification Administration lines, which distribute power purchased at wholesale from Southwestern. In the area served by Southwestern Public Service are wheat elevators, having a total capacity of nearly 31 million bushels. Flour mills are operated in connection with some of the wheat elevators. General Mills has a large flour mill in Amarillo. This mill also makes breakfast food. Similar operations are carried on by mills at Plainview to the south and smaller establishments throughout the territory. Plainview, 75 miles south of Amarillo, marks the limit of the Texas Panhandle proper, being the center of a vast, diversified agricultural area containing more than 8,000 irrigation wells. Plainview and other towns in this area support numerous industries dependent on agriculture. Tuco, to the south of Plainview, is the site of one of Southwestern's important power plants. Tuco is a center of a vast load area and the most rapidly expanding section of the territory served by the company. The area southward from Plainview to Lubbock is one of the largest cotton producers in the Southwest. Lubbock, the largest city in the southern end of the system, is the third largest inland shipper of cotton in the country. In this district, near Plainview and west of Lubbock, as well as south of Portales, New Mexico, oil has been discovered, indicating that this entire region may develop into an enormous oil and gas field in the years ahead. Lubbock is the home of Texas Tech, one of the large technological colleges in the country. Southwestern works in close cooperation with this college in technical and industrial research, with special emphasis on exploring and developing the industrial potential of this area. Stretching below us is Carlsbad, New Mexico, known nationally as the site of the Carlsbad Caverns, visited by about 500,000 people from all over the country every year. By contractual arrangements with the National Park Service, Southwestern furnishes electric energy to the caverns. Carlsbad has supported agriculture through its irrigation project for several years, water being obtained through reservoirs, storage, and canals. 20 miles east of the city are 3 potash mines and refineries, 2 of which buy electric energy from Southwestern Public Service. 85% of all the potash produced in the United States comes from the Carlsbad mines, and huge quantities are shipped to Europe as fertilizer to replenish the starved farmlands of France, Belgium, and other devastated countries. The Pecos Valley section of southwestern New Mexico, served by the Southwestern Public Service Company, lies along each side of the Pecos River for about 30 miles. Nearly all of these 140,000 acres of farmlands are irrigated, producing a large variety of crops, including alfalfa, cotton, and truck crops. This is Roswell in the upper Pecos Valley area. Roswell is the home of the New Mexico Military Institute. At Roswell in the upper Pecos Valley are extensive ranches. Clovis, northeast of Roswell, is a 4-way division point for the Santa Fe Railway. The city also serves as a sales center for a large part of the livestock raised in the surrounding country. Sales receipts totaling more than $1 million a month at the auction ring. This, then, is the Southwestern Public Service Company empire, a rich, productive country, still in the process of development. An area growing as rapidly as any in the United States and expanding on a sound, permanent, and diversified basis. Southwestern has kept in step with the ever-increasing power demands that have accompanied this growth. Today, it is one of the few electric utilities having excess power capacity. Power capacity which is being sold to neighboring utilities to help them meet their own increased demands. Almost $38 million has been spent to construct additional facilities in the last 6 years since the present company came into being. $30 million of this amount have been spent in the last 3 years since the war. It is significant that the rate of growth of this territory since the war has exceeded that experienced during the war, nor is the end in sight. All indications point toward the continuation of this expansion. Southwestern estimates call for spending $75 million in the next 4 years, more than doubling the present investment. The phenomenal growth of this territory has not come about of and by itself. It has come largely through active support of the communities, their business and civic organizations, through confidence in the region and the many advantages it has to offer industry and business. In this combined effort, Southwestern Public Service Company has played an important role in providing a reliable source of power at reasonable rates and assuring its customers that such a supply will be available in the future. It has planned its own affairs to meet every additional demand by placing orders for equipment so that the facilities would be ready for each additional load. In this way and in other ways, Southwestern has tried to play the part of a leading citizen of this vast area. Southwestern hopes and believes that it has met these responsibilities.